Hello and welcome to our G100 Denim Club dialogue, Women Entrepreneurs Leading the Way for Sustainable Development. And I'm really pleased. Our host this evening is Dr. Dorian Wilson, Associate Professor in Sustainability Management and G100 UK Country Club. Good evening, Dorian. How are you?
Absolutely fine, thank you. Thank you for that introduction. So yes, very proud to be the UK Country Chair of the Higher Education and Industry Connect wing of the G100 Club. Just as a reminder for those who are aware and to inform those who are not aware, G100, or rather Club G100, is a group of prominent female leaders internationally whose quest is to address underrepresentation of women at senior levels across sectors of industry. G100 has 100 wings. Each wing represents sectors of industry. There are global chairs, and each UK and country chair has an advisory wing of members, including Denim Club members, who are the he for she champions, of which Rudy is one of those. So, without further ado, Rudy's brought together as part and parcel of another episode of MCW Connectivity, making communities or connections work. This episode, which again, to reiterate, focuses on women entrepreneurs leading the way for sustainability development. So we have three panelists, and do forgive me if I mispronounce your name. OKPAMEN, who is a graduate of the University of East London, where I actually teach. I'm an associate professor in sustainability management, the UEL, as we use the acronym. And TOLU ODUNSI, who is also business graduate from UEL. And last but not least, Gloria Folabomi, also a UEL business graduate. So, Rudy?
Thank you.
Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. And welcome to three of you. And we really look forward to this dialogue. So I'm going to start with Ose first. Ose, tell us, how did you get into fashion?
Sorry, Ose, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Growing up, my mom was a tailor. She had a tailoring house, a small one, but I used to go there after primary school every day, and I used to learn how to cut and sew and do a lot of hand stitching and handwork. So that was very important for me. But then when I became a teenager, my body was sort of awkward. That's the way I can put it. So I had to learn to sew the things I liked for myself. And even where I was growing up, the environment I grew up in, there were not a lot of boutiques or fashion houses. So a lot of what I wanted and I saw on TV, I had to make for myself. And that became the beginning of my dream and my passion to be a fashion designer. And just always wanted to see women look stylish and beautiful and look their very best. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. Tolu, your fashion journey began in Nigeria, and since 2016, you've been designing timeless and classic pieces for women. What inspired you to focus on creating sustainable fashion, and how has your business evolved since moving to the UK?
Sustainability has actually always been at the core of my work as a fashion designer. And coming from Nigeria, I actually saw firsthand the challenges that underserved communities face, which actually inspired me to ensure that while creating durable clothing pieces, I'm also finding a way to actually give back in meaningful ways. So when I started, my goal was to actually produce beautiful, practical pieces for working women. But I was also trying to ensure that I would minimize waste and also help others in some way. So since moving to the UK, my brand has actually grown in scope and vision because we've been able to even expand from just, making clothing pieces to actually also having a bag line that is made from eco-friendly materials. So basically, I'm just focused on reaching a wider audience with products that reflect both quality and purpose.
Excellent, excellent. Gloria, what inspired you to start a tiger nut based business in the UK, and why did you choose this particular ingredient?
Thank you, Rudy, and thank you, Dr. DOIREAN, for this wonderful opportunity. What actually inspired me is to start Tiger Nut is it all started from my childhood. As a kid, I was quite skinny and still skinny, and my mom was always trying different natural ways to help me gain weight, and she would alternate between tiger nut and soya milk. But something interesting happened. So why both were actually meant to make me add some flesh. She noticed that the tiger nut will make my skin glow naturally, and I had stopped complaining about stomach upsets that I usually have frequently. So what's fascinating is that my mom didn't know the science behind it. All she knew was she just had the intuitive understanding that tiger nuts were good for the body. So she kept feeding them to myself and my brother, and it became this cherished part of our childhood nutrition. She was right, even though she couldn't explain why. But we've experienced this, and then it shapes everything we are doing today at Tiger Inc. For instance, we are introducing the tiger nut milk that is inspired by my mom's original recipe, and we have enhanced it with modern nutritional understanding, just like the way my mom would say, drink it, it's good for you, it's good for you. You need to add some flesh, So we are now able to explain exactly why with scientific backing, because the prebiotics fiber that she didn't actually know what it was, the healthy fats, the minerals, and a lot about the minerals and the nutritional value of tiger nuts. So this has actually implemented my decision. And then I look at other children, and a lot of people also have this kind of thing that I went through as a child, and then there's no better way than to just share my story and produce it to the UK market.
Okay, excellent. So Gloria, tell us, how do you source your tiger nuts, and what steps do you take to ensure they are of the highest quality?
Okay, so we are currently in discussion with several small-scale farmers in West Africa, and I just came back from a trip from Valencia 3 weeks ago, talking to a supplier as well. But what we are doing is we are trying to have like a direct relationship with potential suppliers, because quality is going to be very crucial for us. And we are going to also be developing a rigorous selection process. We're also learning a lot about the different varieties of tiger nuts and working with agricultural experts to identify the best ones and the best ones for our plant produce. Also in the process of setting up quality control protocols that will include moisture content testing, size grading, and of course, taste testing. So while we haven't started production yet, we are committed to building a transparent and sustainable supply chain from day one.
Excellent, excellent. TOLU, your brand emphasizes sustainability, particularly through the innovative use of fabric scraps to create new clothing for children in need. Could you tell us more about how this initiative began and the impact that it's had through your foundation in Lagos?
I'm actually always very excited to talk about this initiative because it's really dear to my heart. So like I mentioned before, we had been creating durable clothing for women who could afford it. But coming from a very humble background, I knew that there were people who couldn't afford to even have, decent clothing pieces worn, and they end up wearing tattered clothing from day to day. And so it all started with a simple idea. I knew we were constantly working with fabrics, and we saw how much leftover materials we had from, making clothing pieces. And then I thought to myself, well, instead of letting all this fabric go to waste, why not use this to make something beautiful for children who would truly need it? And that's how it began. So we began to create clothes for children in our local community, and it quickly grew into a formalized effort, and it grew into a foundation, a not-for-profit organization. So since 2018 till date, we've been able to provide over 1,250 new clothing pieces for children, underserved children in Lagos, along with food and other essentials that they need. And so it's really much more than clothing. It's about restoring their dignity, because they are actually in difficult circumstances, and it's doing it in an innovative way, right? So basically, we are supporting their development and confidence, and the aim is to create like a positive impact by repurposing fabric waste and using it to make something meaningful for those in need.
Yeah, that sounds excellent, and we can really see how that would also inspire the young people themselves as well to think about how they may, with those humble beginnings, as you say, but then they can transform themselves and with a sense of dignity, which is excellent, really is. Jose, how long have you been doing your fashion for?
Yeah, so a total of 10 years now, minimum, I think. And it's very interesting that Tolu mentioned waste management, because I think I've gone through every aspect of fashion, from bridal to day wear to evening wear, special occasions. But something happened after COVID with my business that we had to pivot, and that has been very important for us because it opened my eyes. I do have a degree in environmental management, and at that moment, I started to see the risk that we were taking in the fashion industry, being the second largest wasteful industry in the world. So we pivoted my business and we became a sustainable business. And our angle actually is waste management as well. But we have a different structure. We have I would say like a vertical factory structure that we operate, and we have our fabrics that are plain. And when anybody makes an order on the website, we start from scratch. We dye the fabric, we design the fabric, we make the dress, and we ship it to you in about 7 to 10 working days. So it's a model that we're pushing and we're trying now. But yeah, that has been also like a passion project within the business. We've been very passionate about waste management and hopefully trying to leave the planet, in a better place than we met with. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, thanks for that. And you've touched on in terms of what makes your brand sustainable.
Mm.
So where do you want to see the brand in 5 years' time?
So right now I enjoy operating like a direct to customer business model, because I love to get to know the Hollerose woman more and more. And I hope to be able to expand on that. I want to be able to meet my clients one-on-one, be able to have that conversation with them, get to understand their pain points. And I think with that regard, I can really tackle waste management in my own way, because then you're serving the customers what they really want and what they really need. Yeah.
Excellent.
I'll jump in there just to go back to Gloria, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Rudy. With regards to cola nuts, not to take for granted that everybody knows what cola nuts are, or rather, I'm saying cola nuts, I mean tiger nuts. So I do forgive me. So tiger nuts are the tubers of the yellow nuts edge plant. That's what it's called, nuts edge plant, or Cyperus esculentus to give it its Latin name, and also known as chufas, earth almonds, or nuts edges. They are tubers which are thickened parts of a plant stem that grow underground, similar to potatoes and yams. Just wanted to add that.
Thank you for that. Most helpful.
You're welcome.
So, Tolu, as a recent graduate from the University of East London, and congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Of course, you're now based in the UK. How do you plan to expand your fashion brand while continuing to support underserved communities, both locally and globally?
Okay, so building on what has already been started, I actually aim to scale the brand's impact because impact is key for us. And we'll want to do this by continuing to basically, first and foremost, create unique designs that are durable, like durable and timeless, and also uphold our core values. And this really translates to not only producing quality clothing, but doing so in ways that make people feel good while supporting that larger purpose. And to expand, we plan to increase impact by using our sustainable practices to reach more communities with the initiatives. So for example, we recently just like 3 days ago, we recently hosted a virtual masterclass that featured renowned fashion designer and a financial expert that actually came to empower upcoming fashion entrepreneurs. So the event actually served a dual purpose. The idea was they're meant to come and help budding and inspiring fashion entrepreneurs, but it did not only empower businesses with knowledge, it also raised funds for our upcoming, Clothless initiative. So through this masterclass, we can be helping so many others grow and also support thousands and thousands of children in need. So basically, we just want to partner with other designers who can actually also donate fabric scraps, because we can't have all of the fabric scraps that will be needed. But if we can, collaborate with other designers, maybe like Ose and some other designers, we can, basically create beauty from leftover materials. And as we grow, I actually envision to partner with more brands and more experts to actually come and empower more aspiring entrepreneurs and local artisans. And basically, it's just about creating positive change on multiple levels. That's the dream.
That's excellent. And you've told us about the over 1,000 pieces of brand new clothing that you provided for children in need. So how does your work in fashion and philanthropy intersect, and what are your future goals for both your brand and your charitable initiatives?
So I've always believed that fashion can be a force for good. And while our primary mission is to create clothing that makes people feel confident and, help them to be more productive, the philanthropy work is basically just as central to our identity. And so we don't simply just design garments. We are also creating opportunities to bring about positive change, like I've already mentioned. So basically, the foundation's first initiative, which is Clothe the Clothless, uses fabric remnants to make these clothes for children in need, because we believe that it will restore their dignity and provide them with ways that they can actually, have worth for themselves. So moving forward, we want to we'll continue producing these high quality and timeless designs, but we also scale to reach more communities. But we are currently partnering with other organizations, basically, to ensure that this is more worthwhile. And also, there is another project that we work on, which is called Project Dream Big, because these children, aside to just, clothing them, we want them to be able to be developed in skills. So these same children in this, underserved communities, we try to look for ways to ensure that their skills, they are equipped with skills that can actually help them outside, in the real world, that can actually help them outside their current situation, their current community. So basically, the ultimate goal is to build a network of resources that serve people in need while promoting sustainable practices in fashion.
Okay, that's great. So Gloria, can you explain the health benefits of tiger nuts particularly for people with diabetes. Of course, diabetes being a long-term condition.
Yes. Tiger nuts, like Dr. DOIREAN said, they are edible tubers. They are vegetables, and they have like very impressive nutritional profile. So our research shows that they are high in fiber, which is crucial for blood sugar management. This is particularly interesting for people with diabetes because the fiber content helps to regulate blood sugar levels naturally. We are currently working with a nutritionist to fully understand and document the health benefits. The preliminary research shows that tiger nuts are rich in resistant starch, which acts as a very good prebiotics. And prebiotics is actually very good for the stomach. And then they also have low glycemic index despite their natural sweetness, making them potentially valuable for blood sugar management. We're also planning to conduct more detailed nutritional analysis once we begin production. But going back to the low glycemic index in tiger nut, this means that it releases glucose into the bloodstream slowly, so it doesn't cause spikes or crashes. So they're actually a very good superfood for diabetes. And then we're also excited to about offering a product that could be beneficial for people with dietary restrictions or health concerns.
Well done. And you touched on there in terms of your future plans for your tiger nut startup, and how do you see it evolving in the UK market?
Okay, so we are planning to launch 3 core products, which is going to be the tiger nut milk, the flour, and the healthy snack bars. Our initial focus will be direct to consumer sales through our website and local health food stores. We want to build a community of early adopters who can help spread words about tiger nuts. In terms of immediate plan, we are working on finalizing our recipes and packaging design. We're also developing educational content to help people understand how to use our products, especially the flour, which can be quite versatile in baking and cooking, because people in the UK especially don't even know what tiger nut is. So it's very important we put out educational content for them to know what tiger nut is, how they can use it, its benefits, what it can do for them, the nutritional values. And then looking ahead to our first year, we aim to establish partnerships with at least 10 local retailers and participate in food trade shows just to create more awareness. This will help us to increase our visibility. And then we're also exploring collaborations with health-focused cafes, bakeries that might be interested in using our tiger nuts ingredients. And then for our long-term vision, our tiger nut is, so like I said, the company is Tiger Inc. So our long-term vision will be tiger nut-based products in the UK, having them in the UK. And then we believe that there are enormous potential growth for as more people to discover the benefits of this sustainable superfood. So there's also a beautiful full circle moment in our business plan where we are working to source our tiger nut from women-led farming cooperative, honoring the maternal wisdom that introduced me to tiger nuts in the first place. And just like my mother prepared them with purpose and with care, we are going to be developing rigorous quality control processes to ensure that every product delivers the same benefits I experienced as a child.
Excellent, excellent. Tolu, with sustainability becoming an important issue in the fashion industry, how do you see your brand contributing to the growing demand for ethical fashion in the UK market? And what advice do you have for other entrepreneurs looking to make a social impact through their businesses?
Thank you. So sustainability in fashion is actually more essential than ever now. And I actually believe that my brand is well positioned to contribute meaningfully to this demand in the UK. So my approach is grounded on basically producing designs that stand the test of time, which can counter the fast fashion circle that actually results in lots and lots of waste. So by prioritizing this thoughtful design and quality materials, it's a way of encouraging our customers to actually buy less, but wear each piece more. And this, I believe, will, in the long run, help to shift the industry towards a more sustainable mindset. And then moving on to the second part of the question, for entrepreneurs looking to make an impact, I think my advice is simple. I would say start with purpose, start with the why, and build around this purpose. So sustainability shouldn't just be like a trend. You know, we're just hearing the word sustainability, but it should actually be embedded in every fiber, every aspect of the brand, of your brand as an entrepreneur, from sourcing fabrics to working with like-minded suppliers and actually giving back to the community. So basically focusing on like the long-term value over the short-term gains, and knowing that even small, very tiny, consistent steps actually help. And it actually helps to, you know, get us closer toward that ethical production and social responsibility that can create a ripple effect that can actually cause great change. So ultimately, I think I just believe that when we produce clothing thoughtfully and responsibly, we will not only foster brand loyalty, but also contribute to a more balanced industry that benefits everyone.
Thank you for that. And Jose, what makes the UK market different from the Nigerian market from your perspective?
I think, first of all, the UK market is more developed, like the fashion industry is more developed in the UK. And when I started preaching sustainability in the Nigerian market, it seems like a foreign word, a foreign concept, even though our practices have always been sustainable for generations. People just don't understand it, but we make our clothes from scratch by hand and for a specific customer at every point in time. So our processes have always been sustainable, but people just don't understand that that's what they're doing. And I feel like my story creates a unique selling proposition. We're an African brand, or we are a British brand going forward that has an African heritage and showcases African craftsmanship. So we have all our hand embellishing and dyeing techniques and stuff like that that normally is not common here in the UK, and is very sustainable using natural products. So that makes us unique and gives us a unique selling proposition for sure. That, I believe, gives me an edge. And besides, we don't just want to be an African brand. We want to be a British brand that has an African heritage. So the idea is more like an Afro fusion. So we want to be able to celebrate Africa, but in a modern way, in a way that every woman anywhere in the world can relate to the brand. That's very important. Yeah.
Thanks for that. And I must say, very well done to everyone. And I'd like to hand back to Dorian just to give us a summary before we close. Thank you.
Sure. I mean, it's enlightening to hear what you're doing and that you're thinking out of the box with regards to sustainability, which is an iteration. And to define it, it's an ability to meet the needs of the present without compromising the needs of future generations. It's also about balancing economic growth, environmental care, and social well-being. And you're keeping that going, which is great. The topic itself is not finite, so it's not a topic that's going to go away or it's a fad today. The word might be one that might be espoused in a dissimilar way in the future, but sustainability is an ongoing issue. World events make evident sustainability and why it's important. For example, the floods in Spain, wildfires, all sorts, poverty, well-being, mental health issues, and so on. We're talking about sustainability. We have to think about these things, even when designing clothes. Rare fact that clothes are being designed out of scrap material, TOLU, for those in need. Children that can't afford to be clothed, or the parents, their family can't afford to clothe them. What better? Instead of material being thrown away, it's being used very productively. And therefore, reserving the health of those children, the well-being, their well-being, mental well-being, and so forth, but keeping them warm, ensuring that they have a place in society because their clothes are not going to stand out as being different than anybody else, and also making clear that they are worthy. Gloria, with your tiger nuts, my goodness, you're absolutely right. I'm sure a lot of British people don't even know what that is. Hence the need for the definition, let alone the health benefits of tiger nuts, which is absolutely crucial for many. Diabetes is prolific amongst members of the Black community, particularly type 2, because of compromising health. And our bodies are made for another climate. Come into a colder climate, yeah, and still eating the same kinds of food is not necessarily best for our well-being. So promoting awareness of something straightforward, not that expensive, is natural, that you can turn into something that's nutritional is absolutely crucial. I'll say, with your clothing brand and making use of the skills, which is about sustainability that your mother imparted to you to sew, and you turning that into a business that other people can benefit, but also is buying into your own personal sustainability, and dare I say that of your family, is absolutely crucial. And we, as a nation, we need to think about sustainability perspectives of what we do. It's easy to waste food, but instead of throwing things out, we could donate, yeah, and give to others who are in need. So I would end there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And to you, Gloria, Tolu, and Jose, thank you very much. And Dr. Dorian for pulling this all together. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Rudy, for putting it together.
No problem.
On a regular basis and having these debates, very important debates.
Indeed. And just to let everybody know, of course, we'll be rebroadcasting this program on freshfmradiolondon.com. So from 10 o'clock this evening, if you want to tune in, freshfmradiolondon.com, or download the app, then you can hear the whole program again. And no doubt our guests will be sharing their links across all their media platforms. Thank you and good night.
And keep up the good work. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.